If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Now download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Now you're tuned in to Uncomfortable In-House Conversations with HB, the podcast.
Hello, thank you for tuning in into Uncomfortable In-House Conversations with HB. Today we're having a special guest here. Her name is Island.
Hello, hi, I'm Island.
Great. Today we're going to have a real taboo topic. This is to do with all things lifestyle. Now, to all my, what I call regular folks who are, or vanilla folks in the world that I come from that we call, it is, people that just, basically lifestyle is swinging, BDSM, what else? Any kind of kink within that realm. Some people, dab in a little bit, some people don't. Hell, some people, whether they know it or not, no shade, when they be having outside relationships, you're doing lifestyle shit without them knowing. And that's something that, I want to kind of talk about. So, Island, tell them a little bit about yourself, beautiful.
Okay, well, as he stated, my name is Island. I've been in the lifestyle for almost a decade now, on and off. I was in it before I even knew there was like a special term to it. But as time went on, I did my research and then I learned about, this community that love to explore, their sexual fantasies without any type of judgment. So once I learned about it, that's when I joined the lifestyle. So I host parties, lifestyle parties. I'm a business manager. I do notary. I'm also a massage, I wouldn't say a therapist, but I do provide massages. And I'll also come to you if you like a massage. And I am just a businesswoman, and I try to venture myself out there and learn new people, and then new people and new things.
Okay, great. So I'm glad of that. I do appreciate that. I see that you are a jack of all trades.
I try to be. In this life, you have to.
Yes. And did I mention she is very, very beautiful?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So here's the thing. The reason why I prospectively wanted to get a woman, because for the most part, when people talk about lifestyle, they think it's always pushed by man. Yeah. And the narrative is, it's a weak woman and blah, 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 and she's trying to do what he said. So I wanted to get a woman, a single woman who's, like you said, in yourself, been in the lifestyle and seen all facets of it. And so they can get a clear picture instead of just having this unrealistic, because I could have a guy here.
Yes.
And it would just, pretty much it would just sound like, we're talking about football or something.
Yes.
So as far as so tell me a little bit, about like what exactly the premise, your sexual premise, what you're open to, what you're not open to, what are you into, what do you like?
Okay. Well, before we even start talking about that, I know there is a perception out there that the lifestyle is mostly men, but when you really think about it, or when you're actually at an event, you actually realize it's more catered to women.
It is.
You understand? And if you really understand the lifestyle, it's basically about what women want.
Exactly, and I'm glad that you said that.
So that's that. But yes, it is more run by men. So that's why, it's perceived as more as a lifestyle for men that's catering to men, but it caters to men and women. So for me, in the lifestyle, I wouldn't particularly say I'm a swinger.
Okay.
Because I don't really share my body with anybody, and because that's swinging doesn't mean you share, but some people think it's just swapping. So I don't really share my body with anybody and everybody like that, you know. So I am in a lifestyle. I am into BDSM.
Okay.
I'm not into anything that is degrading, demeaning, or you know, like, because some parts of BDSM they degrade you, or they
some
puncture.
people are masochists.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So so when it comes to just like the lifestyle and the BDSM, there's different avenues or different routes. So you have to do your own research and find out more what you're into, what your kinks are, what you're comfortable with, and what fantasies that you want to live out. Because what you might want to do or what I might want to do is not for either one of us. Because everybody has their own kinks. Everybody has their own wants.
Right.
So it's basically different, but.
And I appreciate you saying that, because one of the key points that people need to understand that it really is catered to women.
Yes.
So a little bit about background, I would tell a lot of people. Yeah, it did start in the white sector, and reason being.
But I'm pretty sure in Africa we were.
I'm pretty sure we were. But here's the thing. I think, a lot of the rich people, the housewives, and the thing is, from my perception that when I came in it, I came in a way long time ago. Previously before. Ooh. I was going to say college, but I'm not going to tell that story because I'm not going to incriminate myself. But just a long story short, I was doing some business for some people. They were Spanish, and he leave, come back. And make a long story short, I was sleeping with his wife. I looked upon, he came up from up under the curtains. I'm looking like, oh shit, like, yo, like, I'm sorry, like, I'm trying to explain, like, and he was like trying to explain to me, like, Harrell, it's okay. I'm like, what's up? And I'm looking at her like, yo, like, why you not saying nothing? And she's like, no, it's cool. And he's like, listen, my wife likes fucking you. So I go from, wait, hold on. Hey, I ain't gay. Like, like, for real, like, I'm straight. And he was like, motherfucker, do I look like I'm gay? I'm like, yo, I don't know. From where I'm from, motherfuckers don't let people fuck their wife. Like, who does that? Like, who gets off on that? And, he explained it to me. And it was like, I was living a whole double life. I had, like, every other weekend, I was in Daytona, so I'd go to a place called New Smyrna, and I'll go to these parties. And I was a single dude. And, I did that. It kind of, like, fanned it off. And then, at the time, I got married. Me and my wife, we got into it, and we were
your
vetted.
wife joined the lifestyle also?
With me. We came and got into it together,
cool.
and
that's beautiful.
And here's the thing that I try to explain to people. Even though we're divorced or whatever, but in that aspect, I can say it's a bond because I tell people all the time. Here's the thing. Well, everybody, what we get used to or what we get accustomed to, what we're scared of, the worst case scenarios is we fucking. So it's kind of like, okay, once I know that's all that's gonna happen, then what? You understand what I'm saying? So you go through that. We make, like, we tell jokes because people actually like that doesn't bother you, and I'm like, listen, here's the truth of the matter is, we all have moments we get insecure. We all get jealous. And, I got stories to talk about that, too. Stories that has happened where, I got out of pocket, or she got out of pocket. But at the end of the day, what's great is you have those uncomfortable conversations. And you ask each other, say, listen, did I do something wrong? Or were you just in your feelings? Because, okay, what did I do? And the truth of the matter is, 9 out of 10 times you were just in your feelings. Or I was just in my feelings. Mind. Yeah, and another side note I tell people, it's not built for everybody. And it is what it is. I tell people all the time, even my lady friends that's vanilla, I say, listen, this don't even have nothing to do with lifestyle. It's just, I hear people like, oh, for my husband or my boyfriend's birthday, I'm going to give him a threesome. And I'm like, do you like girls?
Yeah.
And she's like, no. I'm like, so what the fuck
Then
you want to have them?
No, that's the worst.
Yeah, because you have to understand, men are simple. Once we like some shit, we're going to continue to have it. And you're looking at it like, oh, I'm just trying to just give it to you just to make... No. Don't open that door. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I want people...
reality will hit you so fast.
And I want people to understand that. And I want people also to understand, again, when we say it's catered to women, one of the things one of my good friends, he's vanilla, he used to be like, yo, how can I get my wife into it? Like... You having fun because every time he saw me with a bunch of women. So in his mind, oh, you having all the fun. So I said, well, what? You're not going to be able to do it. And he's like, what? I'm like, would you allow your wife to have sex with another man? He was, oh, hell no. You won't be able to do it. He says, oh, but you like, yeah, if she chooses to, she can.
Yes.
That's the whole point. You have the option to.
Yes.
You don't necessarily have to. And... You know, another thing for me personally, just come to find out, it's just like the longer and the more I got into it, I wasn't so much out to be, you know, men, we're like kids. You know, you put a bunch of men together and you put them in a party and you like want to have all the women. And for me, it's like, okay, I do that. I get that on the regular pimp. That ain't, you know what I mean? Like, that's not a big thing to me. But to other people, it's like, oh man, you ain't see that girl? Man, yeah, she all right. But you ain't see, you know, what I had last night. Like, so just things like that. BDSM, I'm starting to get into that. Understanding that one of my good friends, he's in it, you know, him and his wife, and, you know, I have some other couples that came into it, and they kind of explained it to me. That's another thing people don't understand. They like the watered down version of the, what's the name of the movie?
You're talking about 50 Shades of Grey?
50 Shades, and I'm like, that's like Disney World. It's Disney World. It's not realistic. But again, I get it. They have to make it, you know, for the masses to buy into. And one of the things that people got to understand, even in that story, it shows that it's up to the woman have to give you permission. Exactly. You're not just taking. Just like she's giving you permission, she can take it back. You understand? So people look at it like, oh my God, like why would you want to get on your knees and why would you want to do that? Because you don't understand it's a mental thing. It's a bond between and also too, for a dom to have that with that's a lot of responsibility.
Yes, and it's a whole lot of communicating and comprehending that person, because it's not easy just to, you know, let go and have somebody, you know, basically dominate you.
Right.
So you have to also be connected with that person, and that person has to understand. And a lot of time people think, okay, when you're to BDSM, they're just harming you, or they're just, you know, causing a lot of pain. And there's a whole lot of things that go into it. You have to do your research with anything in life before you join. Even in the lifestyle, prior to me joining, I did my research. I made sure I talked to other people. I looked, I looked on Google. I read books. You know, I try to find out like different ways, you know, how I can understand it better before I actually decided to join this. Because it's not for everybody. Even when I did decide to join it, you know, like one of my very first events that I went to, I thought I was ready. I wasn't ready. I was like, wait, what? And then when I actually went to a party where I felt, you know, comfortable and I really understood it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm home. Like, this is what I always wanted. This was always my fantasies, you know, to be around people who are comfortable within themselves. And they were, like-minded, and they were not judging you not one bit. Whether you wanted to, you know, participate, whether you just wanted to sit and just watch, it didn't matter.
Okay.
Regardless of that you just felt comfortable. And that's what I always wanted to do, because sometimes when you go to like a regular event, everybody's just sitting around and just looking at each other.
They're like, well, who is that? Or who she thinks she is? Why is she talking about my boyfriend? Stuff like that.
Yes.
So question 2. So as far as, your experience. I want to know your experience, good and bad, as far as couples, single women, single men, and just the overall the lifestyle of today, because I have another take on that, but I really want to hear yours.
Okay, when you say my experience, like what exactly, like what I've
just
experienced
from
in
what
the
you
past?
experience or what you see, just anything, just from from couples, maybe a couple you dealt with, maybe you didn't, just people that you just know, just again, it's lifestyle 101. So I want I want people to get that from your perspective, and then I want to give mine.
Okay. Well, when it comes to, we'll start off with couples. When I started the lifestyle, I didn't know which one
Prefer.
what I was comfortable with.
Okay.
Because I'm more into men. I like men. I've always loved men. Everything about men is just beautiful to me. But then you come across certain women, it's not necessarily about how they look like.
Right.
But it's more about their vibe, because certain women, like, you'll come around, you'll instantly have an attraction to them because of their bond. So I've been attracted to women also. Okay. So I've played with both, with men and women. Okay. And also with couples. Now, when it comes to couples, currently right now, I do not play with couples anymore. Due to the fact that I feel like, just like you stated, certain times you might think you're ready for like a threesome, or you might think like you're ready to bring another woman, in your life and into, enjoying your partner. Right. But sometimes, even though as much as they have conversations, or as much as you think like you have an understanding, but when you're actually in the moment and you're in the bed with that person, it's a whole different reality. It is. One of my very first threesomes, when the girl, first of all, like, even though we thought our communication between my ex and I, even though we thought like it was good, like I talked to him, I was like, yeah, I'm ready for this girl. Like, he showed me her picture, like, everything. So I thought I was ready. I show up at the house, she's already there. She's in her robe, like, she's comfortable at the house. I'm like,
you looking crazy. Okay, yeah, why you so comfortable, B? Right, that part. Your mind just wanted to go.
I'm like, wait a second.
Hey, this is real shit, y'all. But go ahead. I like it.
I'm like, okay. So I text him, and then I'm like, okay, I'm inside. And then he was like, okay, fine, I'm coming. He had stepped out. Okay, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let this go. I'm gonna go with the flow, because I'm a person that, even though, like, my ears, my awareness is out, I still like to, take a moment, breathe it in, and, take into the situation. But anyways, once he came back in and everything, and we started actually, like, playing, she was a cool girl. I was very attracted to her and everything. But when she started giving him head, and he's doing like, all different types of sounds. And you like, motherfucker, you ain't do that shit with me. Yeah. Like, bitch, wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Damn. Yeah, you're doing too much. Yeah. Exactly. That's what happened to me. So I'm like, wait, I don't know if I'm ready for this. So it ended up, the threesome. I cut it short. I was like, yeah, I'm not comfortable. I gotta go, like,
Right.
So, and as time went on, and I started playing with other couples, I realized that even though as couples, they communicated and everything, and I've got both sides, because I've had men who, whenever I'm like, intertwined with the woman, he would feel certain type of way, where he'd be like, okay, wait,
you two into her.
Yeah, what about me? What about me? And then vice versa, where it would be the man and it would be the woman, excuse me, it'll be the woman, and she's like, and you can tell in her eyes or her body language, like, she's not comfortable. And one thing is, if you're having like that type of intimacy, like between with someone,
mess up everything.
And as soon as you feel like that, me though. As soon as I feel like a woman is uncomfortable in a situation, I will snap out of it, and I'm like, wait a second, because I never want a woman to feel uncomfortable. Right. You understand what I mean? So, because, as a woman,
and he shouldn't. He needs to learn to read the room
too. Yeah. So it's the same thing. You never want the man, because if he's feeling like he's left out, like, wait, you don't want that. So with couples, I decided not to, really play with couples anymore. Single woman, I don't ever want to mislead anybody. Okay. I know I'm more attracted to men, so that is the reason why I try very hard not to lead any woman on. Right. And when it comes to single guys in the lifestyle, that's a whole nother situation.
Right.
I've been trying my very hard, like that's one of the main purposes of my Facebook. I want to, whether it's women or men, I want to educate them. Right. And it doesn't even have to be in the lifestyle.
Right.
You understand? Right. It can just be just in life in general. Because when it comes to lifestyle, a lot of the single men, I don't think they actually took their time to understand, why they're there. They think, oh, okay, I'm over here and I get to have sex with all these different type of women. I'm in heaven. So sometimes they'll just come up to you and they'll, I've sat before, like, let's say I'm sitting here, like this happened to me.
Right.
Oh, yes, like this has happened to me numerous times where I'm just having a conversation with a person and I remember distinctively one time a single dude came from behind and his next thing I know, I just felt dick, like right here, and I'm like, wait a second, like, because sometimes, because sometimes I feel like that's the thing with single men. I think they don't understand that even though, yes, we are here in the lifestyle and we're all here, to fulfill our fantasies, that doesn't mean, it's okay, that doesn't mean that, you still have to just approach a woman without asking her or without not having a conversation with her, without actually making her feel like a human being. Right. And it's the same thing too when it comes to men. You cannot just show up to a man and just be like, come here, grab that dick, and then just be like, okay. I'm pretty sure some of them won't mind. Right. Some might mind, but at the same time, you always have to be respectful to everyone. It doesn't matter even if you're there, at a party or at a private event. Right. You always have to be respectful to everybody because everybody deserves respect. Don't do what you would not like to be done to you or to a family member. Don't disrespect anyone.
I'm glad that you said all those things coming from a single woman's point of view because that's kind of what led me to be able to have this conversation because so when I came in, I want to say at the time that we came in, I always kind of brag and say we came in the right way. Mm-hmm. And when I say the right way, like, we were vetted. Uh-huh. So, through parties before and I didn't understand, we just used to, black people. So they were like, okay, are you guys married? Mm-hmm. Single? Like, what is you guys' relationship? Like, we want to know, are you a serious relationship? Because again, I didn't understand, but I understand later on down the line, I don't want any drama. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And one of the things I tell couples all the time, like, if y'all not good, I don't care if y'all had a little simple argument that day, don't come to a party.
Don't.
Because anything can trigger your person and you might get to a point where you embarrass yourselves. And that's not what you want to happen. Also, too, we were vetted, talked to anybody that we want to invite. They ask, well, who are they? Who are they? Like, they hold you accountable and responsible for that. It ain't just like, oh, this is just the thing. Single men. Now, this is where I have a real big problem now in the, as far as the lifestyle now, I feel like it's very watered down. I think that they just invite everybody who said they're freaky.
Yes.
And what happens is men, they come and they pay this money and like you said, they have, in their mindset, it's like I feel the right that I should be able to do, and you're not. When we were started at the time being in a lifestyle, it was kind of like the single guy. I remember we'll be at parties and a guy will come and sit down and speak to her and talk to her, and after that talk to her, he'll come to me and say, hey, I just got finished speaking to your wife. She's very beautiful, blah, blah, blah. If you don't mind. And if it was cool. But he came and asked, came and talked, came to have a conversation. Not just, hey, well, what's good? And, when we came into the black realm, it's like, okay, well, I want to introduce my husband or you need to speak to him. Like, well, I got to speak to him for. What the fuck you mean what you got to speak to him for? You understand what I'm saying? or
disrespectful.
or vice versa. You know, like, hey, listen, I want to bring like, you know, I want you to introduce my wife. I want you to introduce my girl. I want you to, you know, speak, because you don't want to put out any kind of false narrative. So one of the things that, you know, I would do, I'll try to be as transparent as I can. So, and a lot of the issues too I have, I say this all the time, a lot of men don't know how to be player. And I'm going to just use that, you know. And when I say player, I think a lot of men use the lifestyle as like, oh, I can just come in and do what I say. They don't know how to have the art of being able just to have a conversation just like what we're having right now. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Just to be able to talk, just to be able to, like, I like that shit. I like the, you know, you see how I'm talking to you right now.
It's part of a foreplay.
Yeah, for sure.
They don't realize a lot of women, it's mental for us.
It is, and it's mental
you gotta
for
literally,
me.
like, it's
right.
you gotta literally, like, mind fuck me.
Right.
You understand? If you want this pussy to get wet, like, talk to me. Don't bullshit me, though.
Right,
Don't bullshit me.
And be
but,
straight
like,
up about it.
Yes,
Yes.
be straight up. That's key.
And that's what I like. I like, you know, for me, it's like the thrill of the hunt. The whole thing is, you know, it's that old school. I grew up, you know, my uncles, family, cousins, and it's like, you ain't player if you ain't telling the truth and still be able to get what you want. You ain't player. You gotta be able to tell the truth, and within the same, she's, you know, understanding, and you know, and you go into it. So I think that's one of my biggest issues. They just let anybody in. And also too, and another reason why they didn't, I want people to understand that in that realm back then, there were a lot of professional people.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Even right now.
Yes, a lot of
professional
doctors,
people.
lawyers,
Yes.
surgeons, like, you know, entertainers. There are a lot of professional people, and that's supposed to be a safe place.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Not every day. Everybody wants to be out with their camera. They want to take pictures. You know, like one of the most down here high publicity. I'm not gonna say who it was. Right. He got in trouble for that too. So it's like people don't respect each other's privacy. Yes, we're in this lifestyle and we want to explore our fantasies or whatever. But yes, just like you might be okay with just being open in the lifestyle.
Right.
Some
that
other
somebody
people,
else
they
might
have
not
a
be.
profession.
Right.
They might be a teacher. They might be a doctor. And even if they're not, let's say even if just a regular Jane Doe, you know, not everybody wants to know what they do behind closed doors. So you have to also, like I said, the number one rule when it comes to the lifestyle, especially with me, is respect and learning to ask a person permission first. Right. Because a lot of time people do not want to ask for permission. They do not want to give you that respect. And it's so easy. It's so easy. Even if a woman or a man is intimate or in the process of playing with somebody, it just takes 1 second to be like, we good? Like, I can be like, good? Like,
or
is that all right?
Or also, too, I tell men, this is a lot of goes with men, just because she played with you last party,
that doesn't mean
you have the right to come to her space and she's gonna play with you this party.
Yeah, and when she chooses not to, that's no reason to judge her or pass some type of, like this girl, or she just going around, she just fucking everybody. Yeah. Like, you know, that's her body, just like that's your body.
And that's the whole point of doing it. One of the other things I try to, you know, educate, because it's a party I just came from. So it was a situation where I had to, and it wasn't his fault. So it was a single guy. So what happened was they were upstairs playing, and the wife, husband and wife, the wife was going to play with the guy. She told the guy, hold on, give me a second, because she got up. The husband was wondering, like, what's wrong? So the guy was like, you good? She says, yes, give me a moment. So I was going downstairs, and she was going downstairs at the same time as me. So I asked her, I said, you good, Mom? So she was like, yeah, the bed is wet. Yeah. And she was like, ugh, I want to find a towel or something.
Of course, yeah.
So as she was saying that, the husband kind of grabbed her, like, yo, like, what's wrong? Like, I'm telling you, you can play. And she was like, yeah, but she was trying to explain to him and tell him, like, give me a moment. So what ended up happening was she went downstairs, so the husband stayed up there, so I was fixing me a drink. She was in. The single guy that she was going to play with, he came downstairs. Now, again, I understand perception, how it looks. So he went down and the single guy went to her and asked her if she was okay. When she went down and he asked her if she was okay, guess what happened? She was explaining to him. But as she was explaining to him what was going on, the husband came downstairs. So the way he looked at it, the way he looked at it was, like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? Like, why you down here trying to, because it looked like she came down here and he just came down trying to, you trying to talk to my bitch. So I'm watching the whole thing kind of play out. So the husband automatically went like, yo, homeboy, you ain't have to come down here and follow her. Like, blah, 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 blah. And again, here's the thing that I try to teach our young men. And I get it, we have egos. And I try to, women, everybody has but it's preferable because a lot of, and this is outside of lifestyle. A lot of us, we lose our lives, or we have lost our lives, or got in trouble because of our ego. And so it went like this. He came down and he said, didn't I tell you, blah, 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 blah. And he said, don't say shit to my bitch. The dude said, and if I say something, man, what?
Oh, jeez, no.
So at that point, that's when I walked in and I was like, yo, so he was like, no. So dude was like, man, you ain't gonna talk to me crazy. Like, So I kind of, went to the single guy. I said, listen, do me a favor, homie. I said, stand down. This is one of them things. Well, even if you win the argument, you're still gonna lose. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, that's his wife. Yeah. So he was like, well, you saw, I ain't doing nothing wrong. So I said, I put him to the side. I said, homie, you have any emotional attachment? Not being rude, disrespectful. You have any emotional attachment to that bitch? He was like, no. I said, so what the fuck you arguing for? Yeah. I said, you got to understand, he talking to you crazy because he has an emotional attachment to her. In his eyes, to him, he's looking at you as you being disrespectful. Now, true enough, you're not, but I get it. And when I said his ego, your ego wouldn't allow you to stand down because you didn't want to look like no punk bitch in front of everybody. But at the end of the day, you finna fight and get into some big, for somebody you don't even care about, and they finna ask you, like, well, what happened? So once I told him, he said, you know what, you're right, big dog. You know what I'm saying? I said, just give it a moment. So then he took it to the wife, and he was arguing with her. He's like, what the fuck you around here talking to her, talking to him crazy. So I said to her, listen, real quick. She said, baby, I'm sorry. Can we go outside? Again, ego. Because, black women, first thing y'all like, what the fuck? I ain't even do nothing to do it. Baby.
You got to learn how to diffuse it.
Listen, this is one of the things that, when we talk about the whole submission thing to women and not giving that energy. So I told her, like, listen. So she did. And I said, you see how quick he was? Because what the fuck you going to say after that? Yeah. If she's telling you, I'm sorry. In front of people, because the reason why you're yelling at her because you felt disrespected. When I saw it and took it out like that, and I just kind of told young boy, I was like, I'm just doing it because this is a teachable moment. It's just in certain things. So he was trying to understand. He was like, well, I brought my play partner and So I said, okay. And I said, I'm not being disrespectful, but this is another thing I'm trying to explain to y'all. You bringing a play partner, it's not the equivalent of somebody playing with my wife. Yeah. It's never the same. Never. And he was like, well, how? I said, I always make this analogy. If we go to the casino and I give you $500 and I tell you to play with the $500 that I give you, how fast you gonna go play with it? He said, fast. I said, the same $500 you use from your paycheck at the end of the week. You're not gonna play. That's the difference. I'm invested. This is my shit. You understand what I'm saying? You just bring somebody to make it even. And even that is still not even because I still have to be aware, hey, babe, you good? You straight? That's why when they're, as a couple you're playing, you want to make sure you're playing with a couple, or if you're watching your significant other, you want to make sure because you got to protect her.
Yes, all time.
And if you're not, and for me, I always use the word with my friends, I want to be in a setting where I don't have to think. or I don't have to question anybody. Because if I have to do that, then that's not gonna be for me. That's not a party that I want to be to. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
and I also always advise other couples, even if you guys go to numerous different parties, whatever theme that it is, always have a conversation with your partner. What are your expectations? What are you comfortable with?
Right.
Because even though, let's say I went to a party yesterday and I was comfortable in that environment, and I was willing to explore different things, and do different scenarios, when I might go to a party that's like a BDSM theme, or a whole different theme, it's a different situation. So you always have to communicate. You always have to support each other and understand each other prior to even stepping in the door, so that way there are no type of miscommunication and both of you are in a clear, so there's no type of way that any type of insecureness or jealousy or any type of miscommunication will occur, because you both are on the same page. So
yeah. No, that's pretty much I agree to that. I like that. I really do. I agree to that, and I hope any newbies that come and are there listening to people, or people that just ultimately just thinking about just to be open to explore. I hope they understand, because at the end of the day, if you got anything out of the conversation that we're having, it really is about communication with you and your partner. Because, and also too, one of the funniest things that I did, and at the time I was married, she told me something that I didn't understand. I got. So one time, was playing whatever, and like again, I'm understanding, the woman, sometimes I'll fickle. 1 minute you cool, 1 minute you ain't cool.
Yeah.
So, I'm playing, and there was a particular, couple was playing, and she was, I don't know, it just looked like she wasn't having fun. She was aggravated. Yeah. And I was eating the girl out, and I just stopped, and I just said, hey, no, I get with you. Lady, I just wanted to tease you, da-da-da-da-da. And she was like, oh my God, why are you teasing me? Da-da-da-da. I was like, no, I just, that's all I wanted to do. Got it with my plate. And later on, me and her talking, she was like, I really appreciated that. I was like, I appreciated what? She was like, that you stopped. And you got it. And you ain't make me feel like it was my fault. Like, you could have said, hey, I got to stop, my girl. You you put it on yourself. And for her, I guess that was her of me protecting.
Yes.
And those are the things that we have to do, because at the end of the day, I tell people all the time, if your woman good,
you're good.
You good.
You good.
If she good, you good. That's and it's one of those, and it's messed up, because that is one of the double standards that I say that it does work for the woman, because like I said, a lot of times if y'all arguing. And y'all having a bad, don't go to the party. Yeah. Because guess what? Anything that you do, she's going to be like, oh, that's what we doing? Yeah. And you might be like, the fuck?
I ain't doing anything.
Yeah, and
we're in this lifestyle.
Yeah, now she done mind fucked you.
Yeah.
So.
Like you said, you always have to be aware of your partners. If your partner is comfortable at any time doing play, just check on your husband, check on your wife, eye contact, body language, pay attention, to make sure, even if that's not your boyfriend, even if that's not your girlfriend, body language will tell you a lot. That person's body language will tell you a lot of how to move forward, and if you should continue, if that person's comfortable, if that person is not. So even though you're in the lifestyle, like I said, our mind be thinking,
right.
Whatever situation that we are in, our mind just be wondering, and, so you always have to make sure, okay, that person is good.
Yeah, man, I really appreciate this small conversation, because I just, like I said, Lifestyle 101, I really do want people to just get a little bit of a glimpse of what it's about and what it isn't about.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions of what they think it is. They think it's a lot of just fucking and sucking, and it's not. And people,
but
oh my god,
are though.
well, those are fuck parties.
Yeah,
it's
those
not
are
really
down
lifestyle.
to fuck
Yeah,
parties.
that's not
yeah,
lifestyle.
That's why, like, one of my main goals and why I decided to start throwing parties is because of that. I don't only throw parties just so people could come and live out their fantasies or to fuck.
Right.
I throw parties also just so people can start building.
Right.
You know, meet this person and find out what they are about.
And you're networking. Right.
That's another thing. Yeah, network. You know, find out who this person is and why they started being here. And you can come and just be a voyeur. Some people come to my parties and they continuously come back and they don't play.
Right.
Because sometimes to them it's like almost watching porn.
I like the atmosphere.
Yeah, it's almost like
right.
watching porn live.
Right.
So, you know, and it's about like an atmosphere, like you said, where you're comfortable to be yourself. You know, if you want to be nude, you be nude. If you want to be fully clothed or lingerie, I will say lingerie, or, you know, dressing down or whatever, you're still comfortable just to be yourself. You don't have, there's no pressure. You know, there's no type of disrespect. And I tell anybody that attends, I don't know about any other parties, but my party, like, always come and talk to me.
Right.
Like, you know, always, the moment that you feel uncomfortable in any type of situation, let somebody know. Because that's the only way that things can improve and things can know better. It's, you know, communication. If you don't tell anybody anything, how are they going to know?
Right.
So
again, man, I really appreciate you coming here.
No, thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Hopefully, you know, I'll do a part 2. I'll bring some other guests in. Maybe a dom or, you know, a submissive, and, you know, we'll get into that, the BDSM realm, and, you know, and other kinks. Yeah, man, and it's, again, so Alan, I really appreciate you coming. So now we're gonna go to the second phase, and that's the going live, the Q&A. It's gonna be funny. These people are gonna see how beautiful you are.
Oh, goodness.
So we go from there, all right? But
Okay.
thanks again.
Yeah.
Again, I want to thank my special guest for coming in and being able to feel comfortable enough to giving her perspective about the lifestyle. And I want to thank you guys again also to tuning in. And like always, I want to give you my HBism. And this one here says, knowing who you are in this day and time is far more important than the character you think you are. Thank you, and you have a good night.